Oh boy, do we have some news for you today. And it's about this. Vale of Eternity, one of our favorite games here at the channel, and literally my favorite game, my #1 game of 2023.
Yeah, and probably your #1 game of 2024.
It might be, the way we do things here at the channel, it might be my #1 game for some time. It's definitely going to climb up my all-time list. Why are we talking about it? Well, if you saw the thumbnail and the title, you know they announced an expansion for this. And do we have all the information? Sadly, no. But we are going to show you the box probably at least 17 different times and speculate our hearts out as to what it might be doing. If you don't know anything about Vale of Eternity, if you're watching this video, you probably know a little something. It's this really cool game where you're drafting these creatures into your hand, playing them into a tableau, and doing all sorts of crazy combos with them. And the one thing we do know is that they promise even more crazy combos.
So the expansion is Vale of Eternity Artifacts.
Yes.
So we know, or at least we can speculate, the addition of a new card type or artifacts, which sound like, at least looking at the picture, there's like a guy holding a glowing weapon.
Yeah,
there's
and he has a glowing ball like this, and then there's like a pedestal with maybe another artifact.
Well, there's like a cave open in front of him filled with it looks like the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin.
Does it have a couple artifacts?
Yeah, there's some things in there that looks like he's going after them. So what they tease that it's going to introduce more dynamic combos.
That's all.
So that's all they tease. That's literally it. We have that statement and the box.
And the box, which I'm showing again right now.
We're going to talk about what we want. So, well, first of all, let's speculate a little bit because there's already been some speculation that based on the size of the box, it's not just a deck of cards. It looks like...
Probably not. Again, preface all this. Speculation. Bump, bump, bump.
Well, unless they really wanted the box to be the same height so they could do that cool panoramic artwork. That might be the only, and then inside it might just be a deck of cards.
That's got Ryan really excited. He loves himself some panoramic artwork, and it is really cool. The boxes line up. I mean, no one stores their boxes that way typically.
I mean,
but
you do now.
The fronts of the boxes line up and make a bigger picture.
You've got like a top of your calyx. You line them up across the top of your calyx.
But what is going on in the game? Well, clearly artifacts. Here's my guess. My guess is that there is a small board in that box. My guess is that's going to be a board that holds artifacts because if you played this game, you probably thought, oh, I hope they come out with an expansion. Not that it needs it, but it just,
we've seen all the cards. We've played a lot of the combos.
We want more of it. We want more of it. But from a design standpoint, it might be a little tricky or trickier than you might suspect to just willy-nilly add a bunch of cards because it might upset the balance of some of what's going on. Right, and you
can't really introduce a new faction because the game is pretty...
The only way you could introduce a new faction is if you had like a whole separate like sub-island where they were. And that's why I think what they're going to do with the artifacts is this probably a separate board where there's some artifacts. The big question is, Ryan, do you think you're going to be spending some of that currency, the stones, for the artifacts?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think you're going to be getting artifacts on your turn instead of going on the hunt for a creature?
So I don't know, but I'm guessing, again, that there's going to be some different rules for artifacts than creatures.
Will they be in play?
I don't know. I'm almost willing to bet that they don't count towards your limit just because that seems like then you're just going to have a bunch of artifacts and no creatures because like or potentially, like David said, there could be a board of artifacts that are like global powers that you get, and you put a token on to say, I've now got this power for the rest of the game.
It'd be interesting.
It did say creating dynamic combos.
Yeah, so. What could be interesting, though, is like if artifacts come out and everyone looks at the one artifact that just came out and it really synergizes with what David's doing over here, everyone's going to say, if he gets that artifact, it's all over. Like, that's crazy. It's going to perfectly work with what he's putting together in the tableau. I don't know if that's the case.
I don't know. We have no idea. That's the speculation.
I've reached out. I literally reached out to them just before we started recording this. Did we want to wait until they responded to do this video? We didn't. We were too excited.
It could be. We'll just do another one because we love talking about it.
We'll do an update news piece on it if we get more information. I'm basically going to go hat in hand and beg them for some cards, some information that I can share. What I can tell you is that based on their Twitter post, that this is going to be, it looks like a Spiel
24
so
release.
Soon.
I mean, a couple months from now, at least in the UK and Germany. And
and that came out. It came out last year at Spiel, and then this year here in the States. So
like March or April this year.
Yeah, March this year. So we might be waiting till March next year, or maybe they line things up with Renegade so that they get the expansion out around the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because when Vale of Eternity came out, they didn't have any kind of U.S. publisher, and I'm guessing that they were entertaining certain offers. Well, they came out of Essen with several different partners for several different games.
They did.
It was a very big Essen for Mandoo. So the fact that they've already partnered with Renegade for the base game probably does mean that they already know. So Renegade might already even be preparing the American print
I would
run,
guess that they're putting a higher priority on this. I think they knew they had a good game, but since it's released, a lot of people love it, ourselves included, and it was just awarded one of the Mensa Select games. So it's a hot game. I imagine there's going to be a reprint with Mensa stickers all over it.
Sure, there will be.
And then this expansion's going to follow it up. I would love for this game to get this expansion and one more.
Just then, that's it?
I would like this if it doesn't have a lot of characters. It would be awesome if this had artifacts and maybe a few characters, like a creature per faction.
I'm still waiting for the variable player power expansion. So maybe that's
start with.
Yeah, I would love that.
That would be pretty cool. Anyway, sky's the limit. We'll see what happens. If you have any questions at all about Vale of Eternity, about this expansion, I don't know we can answer too much about the expansion, but we'll be happy to get down there and talk to you about Vale of Eternity. But put them in the comments below. We'll get down there and talk with you. Until next time, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then.